Hello! Welcome to Razor Pop, where we always talk about what's hot in entertainment and pop culture. I'm Helmi.
And I'm Christina.
And today we're talking about Eric Khoo.
Yes, our famous local filmmaker.
Now, I think every film student sort of wants to have the career that Eric Khoo has. He started off making short films, and then his short films received a lot of acclaim overseas, and subsequently he went on to make feature films. And
there were lots of successful feature films like The Walkman, 12 Stories.
12 Stories, Be With Me, and now Magic Man. Now, his latest film, My Magic.
Yes, My Magic.
His latest film, My Magic, had been nominated at the Cannes Film Festival for Best Picture, or its equivalent would be the Golden Palm Award. Now, that is a very, very prestigious honor for a Singaporean film.
Yes, and I'm very much looking forward to watch the film because I haven't had the chance to watch it yet. So if I have the chance to watch it, I'm going to really relish that opportunity.
That's right. And yesterday I spoke to Eric Khoo about his latest film, and I also spoke to his cast. So let's watch this clip. Hi, I'm Helmi from Razor TV. I'm here with Eric Khoo, possibly the best director in Singapore. Would you call yourself the best director?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, now, why this story? Why were you attracted to this particular story?
Well, I think, it's my fascination with Francis, whom I've known for many years. I met him like 10 years back, and we became buddies, and, every once in a while we'd meet up, have a couple of drinks, and I was just very, very curious about all his bizarre magic, and ultimately we became good friends, and I saw a certain part of him, and I started to fall in love with his eyes. Every time, after a couple of beers, his eyes just get so wet and teary, and I'd say, Francis, I just want to film your eyes. I want to film your eyes. What happened last year was I received the cultural medallion, and it came with a grant. So I saw it. I'm always looking for signals and signs that it was time to direct again, because a lot of people have been asking me, are you going to wait another 7 years before you direct after, like 12 stories, then Be With Me? And I'm not getting any younger, so I thought, no, better do it. And also, as I had promised Francis many times that we would do something together.
Well, firstly, when Eric told me that he wants to do the film about my life story, which is about father and son, I was quite excited about it.
Right. I mean, did you expect anywhere in your life or career that somebody would be making a film about you and your life?
Well, I have always thought of making a movie because I've been to many parts of India, and during those times, I've met some of the actors and actresses, and India has one of the biggest film industry in the world, and I always thought I wanted to do a movie, but I never thought, that I'm going to use magic and do the movie with a person who is not even an Indian, which is Eric Khoo, So it just came about just like that.
People always say that, have you made a pact with the devil? Have you, made a deal with some demon to allow you to do these magic tricks? Can you set the record straight?
Okay.
Have you made a pact with the devil?
Okay, I am a staunch Catholic. I'm a Roman Catholic. Now, there is no such thing as devil and ghosts and all those things. No? There's no such things. It is only because your eyes create illusions. And it's the illusions that make people feel, that there is such thing as ghost or devil,
So actually nailing down the script was quite fast. I remember I'd come up with the structure and scenes, and at that time, Kim Ho was in India doing an article, and I would email him, and he'd come up with a dialogue, and I would do the rehearsals, and we met this wonderful lady who also appears in the film. Her name is Grace, and she became my translator. So she would translate the English into Tamil, and basically was my ears on the entire shoot.
I mean, you were the eyes and ears of Mr. Eric Khoo.
Yes.
How was that? Was it easy?
I was actually pretty much okay. Just a little under stress because I had to ensure that they speak correctly. Other than that, it was pretty much okay.
You also had a small role in the film.
Yes, I acted as the prostitute in the film.
Is that something you can, easily get into?
It was okay because I have been doing this kind of roles for the last 2 years. Somehow I'm stereotyped.
No kidding? You've always been doing this kind of roles?
Because I do TV, stage, and radio as well. So my stage performance, the last few performances, I was doing the slut, the prostitute. So I'm
my God, you're getting stereotyped.
Oh yes, I am.
I mean, I'm guessing you're a nice girl.
Very nice girl.
So was Eric very precise in what he wanted.
Yes, it was actually quite a breeze working with him because he knew exactly what he wanted. So he just tells what you want, and we just deliver.
Were there times when he sort of asked you to interpret the scene in a certain way, or rather, like he wanted a scene to be done a certain way, but it didn't quite gel with what you understood of the Tamil language or the Indian culture, or
Not that I know of, because what happens is when they give me the script, if something does not work in Tamil, I tell them straight. Yeah. So I will tell them, this may not work in Tamil, you have to rephrase it to a different way. So we worked that out before we filmed it.
So Jatish, you're 14 years old, which means you can't actually watch the film in cinemas, which is NC-16. How many times have you seen the film?
Frankly speaking, I only watched the movie once. But the thing is, I don't find the sense of making it NC-16 because the movie is meant to be for a father and son to actually bond with each other. Yeah. So I don't find the point of having it to be NC-16. It loses the whole point of letting it be the father and son. But due to some death-defying scenes, I guess, very violent scenes or coarse language, they might have put it for NC-16. So yeah, I can't really watch the movie until the DVDs are out, I guess.
I think you're remarkably mature for somebody your age. In the film and in real life, do you find yourself being a little bit precocious compared to your friends?
You gotta be, you gotta leave all that childishness alone once you're at a certain age, I guess. But I still do have...
I didn't leave it behind when I was 14.
Well, I still do have the childish instincts with me, but I guess you should... especially after acting in a film, you should be cautious of what you do and how you behave in public. And yeah, if not, they'll just tag you just like that. Without even knowing you, just tag you. Oh, this guy, he's very immature. He does stuff without thinking.
Wow, he's more serious about celebrity and what a celebrity should do and should not do than
He's
me.
a very, very smart kid.
Yeah.
And the fact that he watched 12 Stories and, all of Eric Khoo's films like Be With Me, and he understood it and he appreciated it. It says a lot about the boy, because I know a lot of adults who've seen Eric Khoo's films and don't appreciate it. I mean, his films are not the most accessible of films.
It's kind of like arty, and it's very emotive, silently emotive, I would say.
And they're very gloomy.
Yes.
They're very hard to sit through. And especially on DVD, if you were to just watch it, you'd be very tempted to just switch it off and watch TV.
Because it's so quiet and so silent. The mood is just so
You can only watch
heavy.
it in the cinema, where you have to sit there, very disciplined, because you paid money to watch it, and you kind of have to see it through. But one of the things about Eric Khoo's films, whether it's Be With Me or 12 Stories or Me Pok Man, a common characteristic of his films is that they often deal with loneliness, alienation, but his settings are always in HDB flats.
I realize that.
Yeah, and the dramas often involve people in the lower classes or lower middle income. And it's ironic because, if you know anything about Eric Khoo, he's the son of billionaire Khoo Teck Puat.
He's very, very rich.
He's very rich.
Yeah, I wonder how he gets into this, the hearts and the souls of this like lower income people, because he's born into such a rich and good family, I would say.
It's true. And so people who don't like his films, I mean, his critics and his detractors often say that, why are you making films of poor people and why do you make them so gloomy? I mean, do you have the impression that poor people are all sad? Because... I mean, okay, I grew up in a two-room flat. I'm not rich. But
me neither.
You neither.
Yeah.
But you had a pretty happy childhood, right?
Well, I would say that I have a pretty good childhood.
Yeah.
And even though I'm not rich.
Okay.
However, you see, material aside, emotional part, well, I suffered loneliness before, maybe some alienation before. I mean, when you were a kid, sometimes you don't actually mix up with the other kids, and sometimes you suffer loneliness and alienation. So but I'm not as gloomy as the characters featured in his film. Yeah, I think he goes really deep into the
because some of us grew up with families like under one roof. 3-room flat, but we were really happy and laughing. And so I asked him exactly that. Let's watch the next clip.